Hello, my name is Paula Obrien and I'm a psychic medium. I thought it would be amazing to have some of my work filmed so I can share it with you. After doing so many shows and hearing how much everyone likes to see and hear the messages for everyone else, I thought it would be lovely to have some of the more intimate messages filmed so that we could share it with you. They're much more in depth and I think you'll enjoy watching them. Snuggle down, make a cup of tea and let's begin. I need to acknowledge a couple of people here with me, but actually I probably need to talk more about one of your children more than anything else for some reason, so this is probably going to be a weird reading, but we'll just go with it, okay? I need to acknowledge an older female that's coming through as a grandma that I need to bring through. She comes through with an older male. She's saying that either your mum has the same name or she has the same name, or someone has her middle name, because she's making me feel that her name is used twice. There is a very strong connection with an M, and there's also a very strong connection with either a W and a J or a W and a J on the side of the male. The man that she comes with is with her, so we have the grandma and the granddad. She kind of is coming through on the same side as mum, so I'm needing to acknowledge that it's mum's mum. It's your dad's mum. She's on the wrong side completely. She's there. You should be there. Who's the J?
My mum's a J. She's Janice.
She's Janice. Okay. And who's the either Joan or John, or the John on your dad's side? There's a 7.
It's got an Uncle John.
Who's passed also?
No, he's still.
Then I'm needing to acknowledge the J in spirit for me. There's an R connection, like Robert or Rab.
My granddad's called Robert.
Okay, and he's passed. Then I need to bring him through. There is a strong W, which feels like William or Walter or W, but that's with him also. There's 100 of them at least to the side of him. He keeps on acknowledging the 7th or the 7th of a month as being important, or being one of 7. He's showing me like 7 brides for 7 brothers, which usually means part of a large family. You'll be thinking about this the whole day. There is an army connection to him, or a uniform connection, because he keeps showing me himself all in uniform, and he's very proud of that. His head feels funny, so I'm needing to, well, your head feels funny, so my head feels funny. His head feels funny. So I'm needing to acknowledge either a stroke, dementia, or an issue with his head. He didn't pass of that, but it was a contributing factor to when he did go. He talks, he's so quick. He talks about the 6 months prior to him passing as being very difficult for him. And there is some issue with speaking, or some issue with communication, because he can't. Albeit that he tried, but I don't know how difficult he found it in the last week to talk. He's saying you'll understand. There is a September connection, and he's talking about your 3 children, and here's the bit I'm not quite getting. They're only a week apart, but they're 2 years apart. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I cannot have got that right.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's 10 days of 2 years between them all.
Okay, so you've got 2 birthdays almost within the same, no, you've got 3 birthdays within the same week.
The 1st of March and the 11th of March.
Okay, because he's saying it's now, it's here and now. But there's 3 of them.
Twins.
So you've got twins, okay. And they're all boys. Okay, because he's acknowledging the boys. I need you to know that he watches them and he looks after them, okay? I don't know if you called her Nana or Grandma, but I need to bring her through. She's very uncomfortable here in her upper chest, making me feel like I can't breathe. It's okay, I'm sorry. She's the main reason that, well, I wouldn't say she's the main reason you're here, but she's saying I'm like the star attraction. She loves it. Oh, she loves you so much. Can you still feel her around you?
I miss her so much.
I miss you too. She misses you too, but she's with you every day. Who felt guilty about not being there with her?
Yeah.
Don't be. She made it happen that way. Honestly, it's such a big issue for you that you didn't get there in time. I don't know that you just left, or there wasn't a very long period of time, and she knew that she had to go before you came back. And it was like, how could that be? I was just kind of there, but she's saying, no, I needed you not to see me. I didn't want a big audience. She felt you come afterwards, and she felt the kisses here. Somebody held her hand for a long time. And she needs you to know that when she did go, she wasn't on her own, okay? She couldn't feel anything. She just fell asleep. She was tired. It had been a journey for her. And she still says she ran out of time, though. It wasn't supposed to be that day. She keeps showing me an egg timer and saying it wasn't even turned over the other way yet. I was promised more time. I need to acknowledge Christmas or December, or an uncomfortable Christmas or December here for someone passing, or that they knew it was their last Christmas, because your grandma is acknowledging a difficulty around Christmas, okay? Who's the Kieran Kay?
Kian.
How do you say his name?
Kian.
I'm saying Kieran, but it's not, it's shorter.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's your son?
Yeah.
He'll be okay. You sometimes know that, but then sometimes you don't. On the times when you don't, I need to acknowledge that she's battling extra hard for you. I don't know if bits of him are inside out. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm here, and I've got bits that should be on the inside and the outside. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
And she's saying he was born that way.
Yeah.
He was very lucky to have survived the birth, because normally children that have that don't come out.
Yeah.
So that was day one of being a miracle baby.
Mm.
The other few years have been equally as hard keeping him here. I don't know if he's going to be 3 this year or 4.
He's just turned 4.
Okay, she's acknowledging the 4. From being 3 to 4, it's got worse.
Yeah.
So this last year, we've had more difficulties. She's acknowledging that there's been operations, we're always at the hospital. Sometimes it feels like it's a never-ending battle. I can't tell you that there's an end. But there isn't an end. There's lots of new beginnings. And each time you go, it's almost like they want to try something else. And I guess for her at the moment, it feels like he's a little guinea pig. And they keep trying things, and you get frustrated because time away from your other children, and it gets kind of tiring. But this year it will get better, and she promises. She has so much strength to give you. It's incredible. And right now, I guess you need it more than ever, because she keeps saying that you're in a bad place. You're tired. I have to acknowledge that no, you're not you. She needs to have you back again. Okay. Everything's on top of you.
Yeah.
The whole world, and his dog, and his neighbour's dog. I know it's hard for you, because you carry it for everybody. And she was such a strong person, she would have given you that nudge, but in actual fact she wouldn't sympathise with you. With having none of that, we need a kick up the backside, and that is very much what she's here to do today with her size 5 feet. I don't know if you can still hear her walking. I kind of feel she shuffled.
Yeah.
So I've got like these funny slippers with the backs squashed down in like sheepskin or something, and I'm shuffling, because I do that when I've got my Ugg boots on. I can't lift my feet up because they're so heavy, and you can hear me shuffle.
She pushed one of those little
She's shuffling.
wheelchair things.
You can hear her. She wrote that, she really did. But it was difficult for her to do the walking and a Zimmer frame without really that and a little tricycle thing on wheels. She wouldn't have been able to move about. I don't know if you know how much energy you gave her in the last couple of months. You made her feel that she could go on a little bit longer. She keeps saying that you bought her some extra time. Not a lot of time, but just enough. She was ready to go. She didn't feel that she could go any further. I know for those of us left behind, it's never the right time. But she was tired. She's insistent I see her legs kicking. So she's now kicking her legs in the air and showing you that she can move them about. And I don't know if she used to dance a lot, but I'm needing to acknowledge the whole dancing, okay? It looks more like John Cleese, however, but he's going to hit me in a minute. But the whole dancing is very important to her. Who has her watch? I need to acknowledge
I don't know about a watch.
a wristband, a bracelet, or something that would be worn on her wrist. She's insistent about it. You've got her rings.
No, I've got a necklace.
No, she's on about 2 rings. Is there a ring on the necklace?
No.
Something that moves about on it? Then it's missing. There's something missing that she needs you to get. There's either a bracelet or a watch that's here that she's insistent on finding. Is everything in a bag?
It was in a bag, yeah.
Okay. Did things get lost at the hospital?
No, it was things from my house, I think.
Things have gone missing?
Yeah.
And she's not happy about it?
Okay.
The rings, the watch, the jewellery, there's all sorts of things have gone. She knows who... Okay. Sorry. She knows who has them. And if they're watching this, then shame on you. She says you know that she knows what you know. She needs them back. She needs to have them back. They should be in the right position somewhere. So I don't know who took them, but she's saying someone's taken them. Okay. Did she have some breathing difficulties?
Yeah.
Then have they had to put oxygen on her?
Yeah.
She was terrible.
She hated it.
She hated it. God, it was driving her mad. This is all to do with this. It's get off me, and it's tight. The more she fought it, the worse it seemed to get, and the more insistent they were in putting it on. And everybody's saying, you need it on, you've got to have it on. Yeah. If you could hear what was in her head, I don't bloody need it on. Get it off me. She's sorry for that. It must have been so difficult to make her get well, because she fought it every sense of the way. I am sorry for that. Maybe I didn't want to get well. Maybe I was ready. Maybe I was just too tired. I don't know if you're thinking of moving back or moving.
Yeah.
You should. Don't think about it. Just do it. I want to say moving back. I would think it was from somewhere where whence you came from.
Yeah.
You need to go back. You're out in the sticks, you're out on a limb, and it doesn't suit you. There is a whole element of you feeling uncomfortable and feeling lonely. You feel out on a limb, Elaine, and she keeps saying that that doesn't suit you. For some reason it's not as hard as you think it will be. You tend to, at the moment, make everything seem more difficult than it really is. Have some faith and ask your angels, and they're ready and waiting, and before you know where you are, I would say that you'd be there before Christmas if you put your back into it and started to get it out. When you're laid in bed on a night time, do you feel? It feels like a stray hair.
Yeah.
Here on the side of my face. And she's doing it to me now. It's freaky. And almost you could kind of brush it away because you think, and you can't find anything there. That's when she touches you. It's when you're trying to get to sleep. It's the worst time for you. And it's almost like she wants to wrap you up and just say, you'll be okay. The worries that your little head gets inside of it are quite something.
Yeah.
And in her opinion, none of them are founded. And it's just her way of saying, be okay. I'm here with you. I'll take care of everything. You need to remember that each and every time that you're worried. And there's this huge thing to do with angels and her. Angels are always with you. And times when you're on your own and you're lonely and you're miles away from home, for ages at a time, she's with you. You're never in that room by yourself. Okay? I'll leave you with her, love. Thank you. I'm never wrong with names and dates, so your grandma likes to talk and include everybody. And at one point in this room there was about 10 people appeared. And I think for her, she's wanting to include her parents, her uncles, her aunties, kind of everybody. Yeah. I didn't want to give them particular significance because it was more for her that I wanted to talk to you with. But she needed to include them anyway. So it'd be interesting for you to get back to me and let me know about the names. One of the major reasons for her to come through to you is to let you know that you have the strength to pull it through. The way that you are right now with your dizziness, it's your crystals for sure, but it's also a lot of anxiety. And actually with the crystals can come anxiety, and the other way around. If you can get them sorted, I think within the next year, there is one more kind of hill for you to climb. When you've climbed that hill, I think you've got your hill climbing days are over. She needs you to have the strength from her, which she would give you if she was here, to push you up that hill. And it's very important that right now you take it. Okay?
I thought it went good, especially with my gran coming through, because I've been really upset since she passed away, so it was good to know that she's here.
You mentioned your son Warren, who I'm just going to have to start with him. I can talk about alive people, it is allowed. People often get a shock, you know, when I say to them, I need to mention such and such a thing. They sit there and their jaws drop and say, but he's alive. I always say, well, I can talk about people that are breathing. People just expect me to talk about people in spirit. So I need to acknowledge him. The breathing is very important to me, and it's almost as if he has breathing issues or breathing difficulties, okay? I don't know if when he was born, I don't know if he's going to be 2 this year, or I need to acknowledge like 18 months to 2 years old now at this time.
Yep.
Because he's small enough to be a baby, but not big enough to be a child, if that makes sense. I don't know if they acknowledged his lungs weren't properly, if there's something in his lungs that isn't developed correctly to me.
Right.
And he's prone to infections, or he seems very prone to getting all of this, like almost like an asthma attack.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if they've diagnosed asthma, but it feels like that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And also there's that babies can get croup, can't they, where they just can't breathe.
Yeah.
When he does this, it's really scary. Mm-hmm. Because he's almost going blue, and you, God, must really panic, okay? I need to acknowledge that there's several times in the past 6 months where we've nearly lost him. And there is an older female who's coming through as a grandma figure to me. Mm-hmm. On your side, I need to acknowledge is the only reason he's here, okay? I'm so sorry, Kayleigh. I have a tissue. You weren't supposed to start crying yet. She's with him constantly, every time he gets rushed in. I don't know if you can feel her by your side, but she's with you all the time. She's so in love with you. It's not just love, it's adoration. And she says that you feel exactly the same way back for her. Mm. All of your children take some looking after. She needs to acknowledge, and I did say outside that I felt that 2 were attached, and I really didn't know what I meant by that, but she's acknowledging that you have twins.
Yeah.
This feels to me, babies, I'm on about babies.
Oh, babies, I've got
2 boys and 1 girl,
yeah,
baby.
Yeah.
And then I have an older girl.
Yep.
This tall.
Yeah.
So it would be 2 of each, but for babies it's 2 plus 1 is what she's acknowledging.
Yeah.
There's also a baby in spirit that I need to acknowledge. I don't know if the baby is yours, but there is a baby with grandma, okay? It feels like a little angel baby. Very early on that this happened. She is also a girl.
Right.
So you would have 3 girls and 2 boys, you still have, okay? So grandma needs to acknowledge that she has your angel baby too. The twins, feel very different also in health. I have one that feels fine. I don't know if I need to acknowledge them in age, so the older one. Mm-hmm. And then we have a younger one. I don't know if it's just minutes, but they seem quite different in size to me. Mm-hmm. Like,
they're very different in size. At birth,
very different.
Really different.
They're catching up now,
yeah.
But grandma was saying, with the littler one, she really had to work overtime. And is this a little boy? Because she keeps referencing him as he.
Yep.
So we really had to work overtime to get him to be here. We couldn't breathe, everything seemed to be upside down with him. She keeps showing him in a little incubator, so I don't know if he was actually put in somewhere to help him breathe. But it's that his breathing's also difficult too. But your little baby who's been in hospital, does he get put in somewhere to help him breathe?
Just oxygen they had.
On him?
On him, yeah.
Okay. Then who's in the little incubator? She keeps showing him not being able to breathe properly. But this would seem like the very smallest baby, yes. And I don't know if this was just after birth, just after you'd had him, because everything was a bit of a panic when you went into labour. When I wasn't. Okay, because she's showing that was when she was having to work harder at doing that, just to get him to breathe and make a sound and come out. And she's saying now, look at him, like completely different. Okay, so she's working not as hard on them now as she is for the one that you've just got out of hospital with. Who's the W?
Warren.
Okay, then she's acknowledging him. I need to acknowledge Mary or Margaret or an MAR name that's coming through. It's that grandma? Yep. Okay. Then she's saying, will you please give me my name? Sorry. Sorry. God, she's very bossy. Who had the stroke, Kayleigh, or who had the head issue? It feels to me when I'm talking to her, my head feels funny. I don't know if I need to acknowledge somebody with dementia.
Dementia, she had dementia.
Okay, well she's giving me it. I've got it already. For the last year of her life, it was very difficult to be her. She keeps acknowledging that she passed before she passed, and as the dementia took hold of her and almost became uncontrollable in the end, you above anybody had the most amount of patience with her, and it didn't matter to you whether she couldn't understand you or, you know, sometimes you're like that anyway. But you sat with her and you talked and you made her feel special. And it's the most amazing gift that you have of making people feel special, and you will always be her favourite. She loves you so very much. She's always around you. Who held her hand when she was... She acknowledged somebody holding her hand on the right hand side as she's going.
In the hospital, yeah.
Then that was you?
Yeah.
She could feel that. But she also needs you to know that her hearing never went. And she could hear everything that you said. You gave her the courage to pass. You gave her the confidence. She keeps saying you told her it was okay. You gave her permission. She needed that. She needed to know that you'd be okay. She likes to be there for everybody, like the mummy bear and matriarch of everybody, and she struggled knowing that she was going. She had some big issues here. She couldn't breathe. It felt very uncomfortable. She's having difficulty swallowing and talking at the same time. And I almost feel that within the last 2 days there was hardly any communication at all. She's for your grandma not to be able to speak is a real big issue. She just loves to talk. But I couldn't. But I didn't need to, because you did it all for me. She could feel you stroking her face and her hair. And when you were holding her hand, she could feel you touching her. I don't know if you put cream on her, but I'm needing to acknowledge somebody rubbing her arms.
I just used to rub them anyway because of her skin.
She loves, that was so soothing. Yeah. I don't know if you realised quite how soothing that was, but for me it was the most soothing thing. And her feet were really uncomfortable too, so she said, I need to acknowledge that my feet are okay. I can walk. Who liked dancing? Who's the dancer? She loves to dance with your daughter.
My little girl dances.
Okay, then the grown-up one.
Grown-up one, yeah.
She... oh, my big orphan. What do they call it when the ballerinas go on the tippy toes?
On point.
Does she just do that? That was the proudest moment in her life. She's amazing, and you've worked so hard to get her where she is. Through all of what you've done, you've never once stopped her doing that. You've always found the time, and God knows where you found the energy from. But you have, and every time she dances, she's amazing. She's like a gnat. She's so thin and lithe, and she can do the most amazing things with her feet. And she loves shows. She loves the big shows. Where's Cats? Where's the cat?
We went to Cats in Edinburgh.
The cat. You've been. She went with you. I was there with you, and the memory song. That memory is her song.
Millie wanted to do a show. We're going to a festival in April, and she wanted to do the show Dance to Memory.
Then that's what she has to do. She's singing me now like midnight. She just loves it. That will be for Margaret. She's so excited for that. Will you please tell her to do that? She needs to acknowledge that she's seen the other three. So she was there for the birth, albeit in spirit. But please stop saying that I wish that she could see them, because she sees them every single day. She had the first hug on each birth. I need to acknowledge October or the 10th of a month has been important, and I need to acknowledge September or the 9th. She also keeps giving me the 18th, and I have no idea why. There is some significant about the 18th for an anniversary or a birthday. There is a strong feeling of John or James or a J initial that I need to acknowledge as being with her also. She needs to let you know that he's okay.
Okay.
I don't know if he had the heart problem, but to me, I'm needing to go across quite quickly when I think about him. She's the main reason, I can say she's the main reason you came. You came because I invited you. But she is the main person in your life that you look up to. For a grandma, she's very motherly.
Very.
And
she was my mum.
I was just about to say. She comes across to me as mum. She's in the place I normally expect to find mums on my little tree of life. She was your teacher, your best friend. You are what you are because of what she did for you. At the time when she took over you, which is how she's saying it, you needed a lot of care and you needed a lot of mentoring and love. She didn't hesitate. She didn't even have to be asked. It was something she did. She never regrets it, not once. And in many ways, you gave her longer. you extended her life probably by 10 years because you were the thing that she woke up for in the morning. You were the reason that she got up and did. In the face of adversity, I have to say, in the last 2 years she struggled. But she always put that smile on because you were there and you made her. I don't know if you know this, but you smell amazing when you walk in a room. Whenever you came to see her, she could sense you were there, even though she could be asleep. She could smell you when you walked in. And that is even now what she knows you're around. She knows you're around her because I can smell you. I need to acknowledge your ring. I don't know if you have it with you. Okay. She keeps saying it doesn't fit the finger it's meant to fit.
No.
Okay. Then it's her wedding ring and it needs to fit the other hand. She would like you to get that altered so that when a proper wedding ring goes on that finger, if you wanted to, it would be that one that you wore. I don't know if it's something you're planning on doing, but she's saying, please, could you do that for me? Even if you had it melted down and attached to another one, so it was part of you and part her, just to put it on. And when are we getting on with it? Because she's eager to get you married.
Okay.
I know things have been difficult and you have to wait till you've had all your babies first, but I'd like to think it could happen this year or next year. She's very excited to kind of get that going. Probably one thing you don't want to hear is having another baby. Sorry. I know I have a bit of a reputation with baby announcements and being so accurate with it, but there is another one coming, so be careful. I mean, if you want another baby, then, well, hey, you'll be fine. But for you, the timing maybe is towards the end of the year. She doesn't see that as a bad thing. She sees you as Mummy Walton. Good night, John Boy. Good night, Mary Ellen. That's who you are. You're an amazing mum. Sometimes you question that. Sometimes you feel guilty that you can't do for one what you do for the others. Can you stop that? Because it really irritates her.
Right.
I read somewhere that reading a bedtime story for your child doesn't make you a good mum. Neither telling them off makes you a bad mum. It's about getting the balance right. In her eyes, you have the balance absolutely perfect. You should stand there and be proud of all your children. You should be proud of who you are. You question yourself so many times. I need to acknowledge your dad in your life. He's still here.
Yep.
But she thanks me to thank him for what he does for you.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But he's very much... He struggles sometimes with being him. And he's not the easiest of persons to be around. But he's very much almost like a hero for you. And she merits that he does an amazing job. She's almost passed the buck over to him. He doesn't do it quite as well. But he tries hard and his heart's in the right place, and for her she's very grateful. You need to lighten yourself. Not physically, but mentally. You need to lighten the load that you carry about with you. Ever since Margaret was taken, it's almost like the weight of the world has fallen on your shoulders. I know it hasn't been easy with Warren and your twins, your daughter and everything else. Excuse me, but she's saying things will be okay. Sometimes you can lose your faith. Today is going to be you having your faith back, and that was why my daughter Poppy chose you. It very much is a case of you saying, I can do these things. At times on a night when you're in the hospital on your own and you can't breathe and they're really not giving you that many answers as to why this keeps happening, you're praying and asking and saying, come on man, let everything be okay, and each time it gets delivered, and you've got to know that that's how this will be. He's not going anywhere, not anytime soon. And I'm not asking you to give thanks or praise, but she was asking you to start enjoying your life. Sometimes you forget that you have one. I'm the same. But she's also saying that you forget to laugh and you forget to have a good giggle at some of the good things. You worry all about the struggle and think that's how it's going to be, and it's not. So there is a part of you that's changed. She needs the old Kayleigh to come back. She's the one that's there for you to guard you and keep you all safe. Please don't lose faith in her. You've almost stopped talking to her. Please don't. And even though she answers you back in your own voice, in your own little head, it's her. And she likes it when you're quiet and it's still and it's dark and it's just you and her. And that's when she comes to visit you. And just to almost say to you, you're running on no sleep at all, but she's just saying, you need me to wrap you up. Almost when you were a little girl and she wrapped you up and made you feel comfortable and safe. She wants you to know that you're safe now. I have acknowledged a few songs today, but Sarah McLachlan in The Arms of an Angel is something that's very important for you. That angel is your grandma, and every time you hear that, you need to think of her. And even if you need inspiration and your faith is a bit waved and you can't make it to the Hallelujah Beach, you can listen to that song, and she's saying that's my way of coming through. But one of the most important things you can do is just rub that ring, because it's like the bat phone. The minute you rub it, she's there. She's never anywhere else. And I'm amazed as to why I was sat thinking, I can't feel anybody. What if she gets here and I can't see anybody? And the minute that you walked in, she looked at me and she just said, see? That was the reason you couldn't get me. I can't be in two places at once. And she needs you to know that she'll always be in the place that you need. Is there anything that you'd like to ask?
Thanks.
Okay, I'll leave you with her, love.
Thank you. Paula was very accurate on the reading that she gave me. I have everything that she said I could relate to.